Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pitch Please, the podcast where people who play games pitch ideas to people who make them. That's not true again.
No.
I'll explain why.
No.
I'll explain why in a moment. Tom, hey, how's it going?
Oh, hi, Alex. Yeah, hey, it's going well. How are you? That's just a very casual intro you just gave there. Tom, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. Well, I don't like high energy. It feels fake to me. For me,
wow,
Alex,
Alex,
if you were to do it,
oh god, I'm so excited to hear some brand new game ideas. Wow, Chris, wow, here you are. You're here too.
Hi.
Energy. You need energy.
Hi, I'm Chris Yules, a Brunch Club developer and Gilson B. Pontes' number one fan. If you don't know who that is, I will tell you.
God's name is what was that? Gilson B
Pontes is a video game developer who has written his own IMDb page. He is the director, the writer, the composer, and artist for 4 games that are released on the PlayStation. And they're all awful.
Speaking of awful games, hi,
I've already
James.
spoken.
Oh, shit. I'm James. I'm Drink More Glurp developer. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty good one that time.
No extra intro on that one.
And also, the reason that my intro was incorrect was because we've got a very, very special guest, a double very. William Pugh is joining us.
Hello,
William.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh my God, I nearly had a heart attack then. I thought something had gone wrong with the recording. That was you put me on tenterhooks.
It's okay.
William, you are responsible, at least partially responsible, for the Stanley Parable. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is there anything? What are you working on at the moment? Is there anything that you can talk about or you want to talk about?
I'm currently working on the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, but I didn't come here to talk about that. This isn't a promo. For that.
No,
you absolutely didn't.
And I wanna also make clear that I'm not representing that product in any way.
Okay, of course. I'm a little bit worried about what your idea is now, because if you're making disclaimers now, like separating yourself from all your professional work to then come on here and just give like a really awful idea or something.
Well, I'm genuinely, I think I've been more excited about this, about William's pitch than anyone we've had on.
What the fuck?
Because I genuinely have no idea what it's going to be. And unlike anyone else who's been on, he wouldn't tell me before.
I've got no idea.
So I'm very excited, very nervous.
I'm terrified.
I would say in equal measure, but I think more nervous. So please, William.
Oh God.
Proceed.
What are you thinking?
Oh no.
That's the name of the game. Please, William, I think.
What you got?
She was raised by wolves.
Hang on.
Oh my God.
Was that the entire? Was that the entire pitch?
Is that the whole pitch?
She was raised by wolves in the Siberian wastelands.
Okay.
On Earth.
On Earth.
2025.
It's in the future.
And let me get this straight first, since we're talking. Since I'm pitching this to you, we're going to make this thing happen. And, I think it's very brave to have this process be opened up and to share this, like the inner round table of the honest truth about what this game is going to be. And its fundamental purpose is going to be to make money.
Yeah, of course.
So we're going to need to first talk about all of the ways that the game does that.
How it makes money.
Okay.
All right. Well, sales.
Yeah, initially. So there's this kind of 2-tier economic system thing that we want to start playing with. And then we'll the game I worked on, Accounting Plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't mean to bring that up in a crass kind of promotional way.
Sure.
But the essential structure of it is there are worlds inside worlds inside worlds. We need to think about this product being an economy of itself. And then within that economy, smaller economies emerge. And this is the only way for us to maintain growth of this game, because we don't want to make another one.
No. God forbid.
We want this to maintain us for life, make billions, basically. And we can have a cartoon. Yeah. So it's got these loot boxes.
Okay.
And in the loot boxes, they're just like loot boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they have living creatures inside of them.
Right.
They have, and if any of this doesn't make sense, please stop me. But they have these creatures with memories. Now we simulate the memories of these creatures using a bunch of different parameters. I won't get too technical, but each creature is essentially unique, but does have value assigned to it outside of this system. And Clara, the main character, needs to kind of, well, I say main character just because that's how we're trained to talk about games and dissect games. But
is
really,
this
there's
Clara who was raised by wolves.
Yes,
in the Siberian wilderness in 2025 on Earth.
So there's a lot of guns in the game, but they don't actually work.
Right.
So the guns have been kind of decommissioned in this future world. Like there's no more guns around.
Okay.
But because it's an alternate world, but we'll get more into that in a bit.
Okay.
So she, so you get the loot, the guns were decommissioned, and they are now sculptures, and they're not making any more guns. So guns that don't work kind of become the new currency. And the first act of the game, you play as like this gun sculpture trader person, who was raised by wolves, and you were traveling, selling these and exchanging these guns with other players. It's always online.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whether you're playing on Steam, whether you're playing on Epic or Xbox or PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, or Switch or any of or mobile, it's available on all platforms.
Everywhere.
Yes, everywhere, especially China. Because China's going to get real
China platform.
Big market.
It's going to get really big. WeChat. This is embedded into WeChat.
Wow.
Which, let me tell you.
Is it also available on old consoles? That,
No.
You know, if people...
No. That's a fucking ridiculous idea.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so not the end gauge.
Absolute fuck. Why would we do that?
Well,
We couldn't sell that.
I thought it was available to everybody.
The licensing, well, like, within reason.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's talk reason.
Like, so I don't think Unity will export to Nintendo 64. So
Can we get it on the Ouya?
I did not hear that comment, and I refuse to acknowledge it.
Yeah, no Ouya.
Probably for the best.
If you go back to the guns, right? You're
guns,
you
yeah,
say
you
you're
trade
selling
them.
guns, but
Yeah.
these guns aren't actually, they're not functional as guns.
They're like
No.
bottle caps.
Yeah. Like a crass, terrible equivalent would be the Fallout series, which this is nothing like.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
It's a new genre of game. It's kind of sorry, go on.
So it's a Strand type game.
No,
wait.
I did not say it was a Strand type game.
Because that was a genre, right?
Kojima can't even conceive of this game.
No, I'm not surprised. But so guns currency,
Yeah.
raised by wolves. It's always online, and also there's I
You
don't
forget the
say
loot
Pokemon.
boxes and the alive. Yeah, they're creatures.
Creatures inside.
So
you
you
know
know how those two come together yet?
I think I have an idea.
Okay.
No, go. No, you go for it.
All right.
If you already have this,
So it's the guns have these kind of power orbs.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right, and and you build a kind of following of creatures as you kind of go along, and the creature system is part of it, and you want to you have depending on your renown level, depending on how renowned you are in this world, you can have more creatures will respect you enough to follow you. So you can kind of amass this kind of group of creatures. And then the guns, the thing is the guns, you can have there's a 9mm little pistol gun, and then there's cannon tanks and shit, and it's the whole range, but none of these work. They're not you. This is a non-violent game. So mostly, but so the thing is the guns have these kind of crystal slots in them, and the bigger guns have more crystal slots, etc., but you can kind of dissolve down, or you can get one of these creatures to a state of inner peace, and they kind of unify and they condense down, and a cutscene plays, and it's narrated by a famous Hollywood actor, but we can cast them later.
Yeah.
I imagine Stephen Fry.
And you put Stephen Fry would be pretty perfect. He'd be he'd narrate. So you know how all the creatures had a backstory. So Stephen Fry narrates the life of this creature as it's kind of condensing down into a crystal, and then you pop that crystal into the gun slot, and the gun becomes more valuable. It gets more points and shit.
So you're selling the souls and entire life and memories of these creatures that you've nurtured and raised until the point where they're satisfied to die, to put them into a gun, to use it as currency, to sell, to increase your renown so that you can get more creatures to follow you. You satisfy their little life goal, and then put them into a gun.
So is that how it works?
That's the first act of the game.
Okay.
That's
you're also selling
the first
to other
20, 30 hours of the game.
Okay. Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
And also Stephen Fry's in it already.
Well, he's the narrator.
Yeah, there's a whole cast. There's a whole cast of people.
So just so I can get my head right, are these creatures, I know you said it was an alternate Earth, are they Earth-like creatures?
So we're all familiar with the work of
Phil, if you want, while you Google that.
Sean Murray. Sean Murray's No Man's Sky.
Murray, yes. Okay.
So there was a beautiful interview he gave that really spoke a lot to me, where he said there's infinite creatures, and I think that we have to go further than that.
We have to go further than infinite.
Infinite, yeah. So
it's possible.
So I think first of all we need to talk about what even is a creature.
Yeah.
So
you're right. Let's spend the next how long? 45 minutes talking about the soul of a creature. What is
cynical.
life?
We can get through it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's easy.
What is a creature?
Do we have the abridged version?
A living being. That was the first thing that came up when I Googled it. That's just Google, but that doesn't mean that Google's correct, right?
No.
So we've got some sort of No Man's Siberia kind of situation going on where
it's not set in Siberia.
Oh, it's not set in Siberia.
No, they were raised by wolves in Siberia.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I forgot the intro. So the intro is you're getting raised by the wolves. It's like a 2-hour kind of snowy, kind of Red Dead Redemption snow tech kind of deal in there. Nice. And you're running with the wolves who can all talk. Will Smith is a wolf. Jaden Smith is playing the baby wolf.
Yeah.
We've also got Helen Mirren we have Matt Damon playing like a kind of weird kind of he's the comic relief wolf basically,
right?
And you're like running around and you're like collecting these parts for a generator that you need to fix up, and then this whole portal thing opens up, this huge portal, and you get taken to this new world that is basically like it's a shopping mall for aliens, but they're purchasing these moments in time. So you kind of there's all these weird, like googly-eyed, indescribable weird creatures, like beings of pure light, Cthulhu type stuff. They're all walking around.
Is it like a hub where lots of different like beings from different dimensions or different worlds come to?
Kinda, but in the future, people will stop using the word hub and they'll start using the word space portal mall.
Space
portal mall.
All one word.
SPM. SPM. They're going to be calling it. Yeah.
SPM. Nice.
Okay.
And it's much easier to say than hub. And I think, but anyway, let's not get into that now. So you're in the hub. You're going through. The wolves are still with you, but you kind of get separated. So like you think that what you've got to do is like you got to go into all of these different worlds, and you got to, find the wolves, do some puzzle platforming stuff, have a new central gameplay mechanic revealed to and expanded upon. But no. What happens is you go into a world very similar to ours, set in 2026, and Brad Pitt has just become president of the United States.
Yeah,
and he is he says, okay, right now, my order to every American and everybody worldwide, because everybody loves Brad Pitt. This is like a global initiative, and it's an alternative world. It's an alternate world as well.
That's true.
So there are differences. Harry Potter wasn't released, Minecraft never happened. But broadly it's the same. And what happens is he's like disassembling all the guns. And he's like,
manually
making them so they can't work. Yeah, he starts.
Him personally.
There's a big press conference kind of thing. And we mocap it. And we do a Last of Us style kind of like...
Okay.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. So we got Brad Pitt. He's the president. And he's like, let's take apart all these guns.
Mocap him disassembling thousands of guns.
And then you see to the right-hand side of Brad Pitt is the Matt Damon wolf. But in a kind of human animatronic kind of like...
But still recognizable.
No, he doesn't look like Matt Damon. Right. He kind of looks more like Al Pacino.
Right, okay.
The covering, but it is the wolf that is played by Matt Damon.
But you're
like, oh my fucking God, this wolf is trying to make it all the way to the top. And we need to just get back home. And so you kind of, so you start, well. Yeah. He like, that's why we get Matt Damon to play him.
Twist.
Because he's got the range.
Yeah.
And the wolf sex appeal. He's big in the furry community.
Huge.
So, anyway, so so you're kind of trying to raise your rank in this world, and you're trying to kind of get on up out of this you start in like you have no money, you have no resources, and you just got to be trading these guns around, and it's like the nature of the world economy. But here's the thing: you can invest your real world money and turn them into this kind of special currency called gems. There's these gems that you can buy, but what we're gonna do is, obviously you can't transfer gems back to money. We stay in control of that wealth that is being invested. And then what we do is we completely manipulate the price of these gems. And these are a different kind of gem from the crystals, the animal crystals.
Okay, that's why I was getting confused.
Yeah,
I
I'm
see.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some kinks to be worked out in this. In this pitch.
So, do we create some sort of like artificial scarcity with like our gems? So we.
Oh my God, we have so many ways we can do this. So one thing is we will tell people, first of all, we'll detect all of their spending habits. So the people who have never bought any gems before, we'll mark it really heavily. Like, just dip in the toe package,
Yeah.
$5 for 5 billion fucking gems or whatever. But for the people who have started to develop a habit around gems, we will essentially begin to monitor their play cycles. So, when they play, usually we'll be able to detect a point. At this point, they would either buy gems or stop playing. And at that point, we hit them with the ad, half price on gems, limited time, sale, 5 minutes, only 5 minutes for this sale.
Nice.
And
it's beautifully devious.
And then when they're low on gems, we can raise the price a little bit because we know that they're going to have to buy them.
So we're going to do a lot. So there's lots of people and characters in this game, and like there's the creatures and the wolves, and there's humans in it as well. But we have a little system called the passive. We won't telegraph this system; it'll be a hidden system within the game. When it doesn't appear on UI or anything. The player doesn't know about it. But there's a passive aggressiveness level for every character in the game.
Yeah.
So they kind of you're running around with the little creatures, and you hear behind you and then you look around and the creatures are looking back and forth, and then one of them's looking at you and is what the fuck? I don't give a fuck.
Sure.
But when you're walking down the street in the game and you're passing by everybody, we use Google Street View to map the world in this game as well.
Yeah, obviously.
To get,
because it's very similar to ours, but with small differences.
We will need to hire a team of artists to kind of go around and do touch up, but it'll mostly be fine. And then, but these creatures, and these people, they'll be looking at you and they'll be giving you dirty looks, and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't like this person," and it'll kind of feel like the game's shunning you. And the color correction of the whole game will kind of get a bit more desaturated, just to the point before they can notice it. And then when you buy the gems, when the player buys the gems, suddenly everybody wants to be their friend.
Nice.
They're we're adding auto aim. We're up in their critical hit percent.
The sun
chances,
comes out in the game.
We're matchmaking them with shit players who don't pay into the economy.
Nice.
Who don't have any of the cool stuff, and just so they can blow them away. And then there's the trading
violent game. Did I miss something
as well? You can. No. Sorry. Well, I didn't want to bring this up until now, but a really large part of the game is pretty sexual.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
Right.
So I talked about Act 1. Act 1 is kind of like your coming of age story. So basically at the end of Act 1, you trade all these guns, you get the gems in, the guns, you become like the world that you're like the people who like the mega rich. You're like the Bezos of this world now. And you've got all these creatures around you, and you've taken over a whole city, and the city's just full of your little creatures that serve you. And you finally
Can these creatures talk as well?
Yeah. It's fully voice acted, but
I see.
But basically, then what we'll do is you get an audience with the president. You meet the president, and then the Matt Damon wolf from before will basically be like, I'm not going back. You can't stop me. And you kind of wrestle with him, and you have like this is why I said, you don't fight in it mostly, but you have like a combat with him. You like the press square.
Yeah.
Like in The Last of Us 2. I don't know if you've got to that part, the press square bit. It's real arty. It's, I thought I wasn't going to feel anything, but when I press square, hoo boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you then fall into another portal and you go back into the spum area.
Yeah.
Oh, the SPM.
The SPM, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you fall into another world, and you get this, and you fall into like the scientist's laboratory. We'll have like a world portal device that you can kind of portal between, because people like Rick and Morty, I think. Mostly.
Right? Sure.
Most people do. So like, I think like if we can make it green and kind of have a similar sound effect without infringing on any IP rights, that'd be perfect. But you can teleport between these worlds, and then you see like in all of these worlds, all of these people have all of these creatures, and they're not like happy. They're all like kind of lonely. All these people, they've got all the creatures around them. Like it's the best time. They're having the best time, but they're all lonely. So you need to start hooking up consensually and in a totally like appropriate way. And we have all like, it's like, it's really important to do this properly, because, it is important anyway, but you're basically making out, having sex with all these other different characters. And how I started with she's raised by wolves? Mm-hmm. Every other player was raised by wolves, but they all have when you get to this area, there's a like little choke point in the game where you go through and you have to, in order to understand everything better, you need to transform. And at that point, we ask the player to upload a picture of themselves, and then we'll like feed that through, Nintendo's Mii tech.
Yeah.
The Nintendo Mii tech.
Yeah,
we basically do that. And then everybody's kind of got like their own face and like their own QR code, and but nobody's got any gender.
Right.
This is important.
Right.
This is important because like everybody has to be able to connect. It's like Journey, basically. It's like, in Journey, you don't know who you're playing with, but the systems of the game create a kind of a space to honestly and earnestly learn and interact and help each other. It's a very collaborative, positively minded process.
So are you thinking kind of there's that similar experience that you're having with Journey, but sexually?
No, when I say sexually, I mean like purely it's like your kind of characters bump together in a way.
Right, okay.
I see.
And like it's not like physics. It's like entering a battle encounter in Final Fantasy. Like the screen goes and it's like love begins. It's like love begins.
Yeah.
And yes, it is turn-based. Okay. Basically, all those gems, all those crystal gems that you found in the first part. And when I said it's sex, I don't mean like in a pornographic kind of like Second Life. They're just like, it's two .fbx's rigged and kind of mashing against each other. I'm talking about like, it's mostly is displayed via colors and shapes.
Okay.
And sounds.
Okay.
And
right. So it's expressive.
But within these shapes, we have this really cool crystal shader that I found on the Unity Asset Store, and I think we can like mask that somehow. And these like memories of the animals.
Yeah.
We like have the memories of these animals like that were stuck in these boxes in these loot crates before you even opened them. Mm-hmm. And you get them to a point of like you nurture them and you get them to a point of absolute zen. Just that you get them to a point of absolute zen.
Yeah.
mindfulness and peace.
Part?
No, he's not. He narrates the earlier cutscene, and we have some sample. We have some reverby sample clips kind of played. David Attenborough actually plays the genie in Act 3, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm excited about Act 3. We're not even there yet.
Anyway. Act 3 is basically Mario Kart. Well, not Mario Kart. It's basically a kart racing game. I don't think we'll have time to get to that. But
that's a shame.
So you have so these animal crystals. To get to the crystal state, they gotta be totally at peace. They've got to have lived a great life, and it's their time to kind of crystallize into these gems. But you have collected all these crystals and all these gems because you're like the Bezos of the gem gun world.
Yeah.
So you start throwing these gems and they explode, and like memories from this creature's life where it had like a poignant realization or like, you know, a moment of beauty, like sitting by the sunset or whatever, these appear, and you basically make love and interact with other players in the real world using these gems. Not gems, crystals.
Crystals, yeah.
The gems
crystals.
are a currency.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that is like a kind of free play, kind of Sea of Thieves. You can join as a group and travel around these different worlds, and like, you know, we'll have to have different server instances, and I'm wondering if there's a way we can monetize that. But mostly that's Act 2. You're kind of traveling between worlds, having kind of cosmic intercourse with other players.
Right. And this is after you've sold the guns.
The crystals, are they acting as like you're saying throwing them? Like, is this like not grenades, not in an aggressive way,
Pokemon.
but like they are?
It's like not like
Pokemon,
in the sense that they're creatures, and you kind of like Pikachu Go or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're kind of throwing them into a kind of common space that you're both observing and are both in, and it expands, and like you see the memory kind of play with an animation.
How do you get more crystals if the crystals are Act 1?
Well, that's the thing.
Can you go back?
So, remember how I talked about the economy, right?
Yeah.
We have players in Act 1 working for players in Act 2. And so what happens is you travel, you get access to this kind of time machine, and you can travel back in time, and you become an NPC, just a background NPC in a player's Act 1 where they're stuck in the world trying to get to the Matt Damon.
You become the passive-aggressive guy.
Pardon?
You are the passive-aggressive guy.
Yeah. You one of the people who, like, there's lots of them. There's like millions of them. They're procedurally generated. I don't know if I mentioned that, but like, yeah. Right. And you can kind of like, they'll be like, they've got loads of crystals because they're at that part of the game. You know, they're like, you know, setting up their own systems of like, you know, of creatures, and there's so many of them. And that you can only bring so many with you into the next act because you can only carry so much. It's like they've got an inventory system. It's kind of like, it's basically Resident Evil's thing.
Okay, like the Tetris-y style management.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Can I, as a character in Act 2, give gems for crystals through this time portal? Can I go like...
Well, you wouldn't need to because the idea is you're like, I've outsmarted this, and I'm going to collect these gems, bring them forward, and then use them for my cosmic intercourse with other players to raise my point level. You have a level. This is when the leveling system unlocks.
Oh,
and
right.
like, you know, every time we'll have like a seasons based system, like an Overwatch kind of deal.
Okay.
So does it reset?
With the leveling up, is there like a branching path you can choose to go down one route, or do you know?
Like a Skyrim style. Yeah, like you kind of look up into the stars in the space mall, and there's like you can like pick your progression. You know, because you want to get good points in this game.
Yeah,
like
more points.
That's really heavily put that in the marketing. Like we have like a bunch of really like, you know, cool, attractive people. No, actually, fuck it. We'll just get the Yogscast people to do it.
Yeah,
you guys can market it like in your videos. You can just be like,
Oh my
God, wow. I got 500 points in this new game. Oh my god, it's so much fun. All of my followers should play this.
It's like Raid Shadow Legends.
So, like Raid Shadow Legends, yes. We'll market it exactly like that.
Or that game where you've got to save the princess and you've got to move the pipes, but you never do it right. The person in the ad never does it right. Have you seen those? I only get those ads. Nuts.
So, okay, maybe I've misunderstood this bit, but
okay. I'm sorry.
Go, Alex.
I just want to. If the people in Act 1 are basically working for the people in Act 2, will that eventually run out or slow down in terms of the amount of people that are playing the game afresh?
Okay.
Starting the game new.
So I know we all want to talk about the art of it and like what this will mean for humanity, but just in terms of the financials of it, what will happen is the game will cost $69.99 on launch on all platforms. People on mobile can pay via like a kind of episodic thing for the first act up until they hit that kind of point. Then what happens is that's the initial kind of down payment that goes to us, right?
Yeah.
We split that kind of... we split that however we want, but we retain a portion of this. And this is basically the user acquisition fund. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend this on mobile ads. We're going to take over the Super Bowl. We're going to, do all this stuff. And this is just one stream of revenue. And this stream of revenue basically funds new content for all new players. So, we keep updating Act. We get an external team to update Act 1 to keep that fresh with new content for people playing that. And but then when people start converting to a kind of gem-based thing, and we're taking our big fat fees for all those gems, and we control how many gems are in the ecosystem. We set the price for it. So we can completely, we get a few economists and we completely just do basically elementary manipulation of that economy by world standards. But we can make a lot of money with that. And I think that we just use that it'll be like Fortnite, really. It will essentially be like Fortnite, but bigger.
And more infinite.
Yeah, and we will also do a thing where we give the game away. But to the people who we give the game away, if we detect that they're not converting to be money, to be making us money, we're gonna turn them essentially into content for the people who are generating revenue for us. So, we'll keep them in Act 1. They'll just never be able to progress past that unless they start making money. And then they will just be, making these crystals, not gems, for the Act 2 players. But anyway, I know we're reaching the end, so I just wanted to briefly touch upon Act 3. So you, in Act 2, you form these relationships, you connect with these people, and this can take thousands of hours. This is like an MMO, we did, and we do our best to kind of manipulate new content and balance things so that that each individual player is getting a curated amount of new content while they're kind of adventuring and having cosmic sex with all of these other players. But through this, you make relationships basically. And you kind of have players that you'll like to play with, and then you'll kind of accumulate. And as you get better, as you get more levels, as you get more points, you can start to have 3 people in a dream, in a kind of cosmic relationship, or 4 people. But when you hit 7 people, then the game goes completely black. The moment you hit it, the moment that variable change, the game goes completely black. And then what happens is we send a message to the store or the server, and it starts downloading this brilliant racing game, right? And 7 people, you're locked in a crew now permanently. You are a crew. You've now got to play. It's like in this weird serial world, and spy. It's like spy serial kind of stuff. And you're all racing to try and find the truth. It's called Race for the Truth. And this part of the game. That's it. Comes up on the text. The text appears. It goes to the black and it says now entering Race for the Truth. And and then it's this whole other game. It's this whole other game, and
Just
your
a totally different
prize
game.
for like building up and getting and spending all this time is you get to play the best racing game ever made.
Right. So this is just the best
whole
racing
game
game.
called Race for the Truth, but that's just never revealed to us until
The game,
the beginning of the third act.
It doesn't have a name, right? We just
No,
marked it.
The game is
Raised by Wolves.
Cosmic
I was
intercourse.
thinking about it. I was thinking about calling it the Tom Hanks life experience. The Tom Hanks simulator.
Right. Is he in it?
And
He's Simulator.
Yeah, and then below that, this isn't part of the title, but on all the logos and all the things, we'd have to put a disclaimer that says Tom Hanks isn't in this game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the thing is, Tom Hanks
Yeah.
would be the race master. He would be like the flag waving guy, like the Lakitu from Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Like
So
he'd
he
be
is in the
that
game.
guy, and he'd be like every time he'd only have one voice line. We could only afford one voice line, but
Yeah.
he'd be like, "Yes, I'm in the game after all." I can't do a Tom Hanks
That's close.
voice line, but that's basically it.
That's pretty good. Yeah, he's quite an affable fellow, isn't he?
So,
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. How does
I
the
don't
game
know.
end? Or does
The
it
race
end?
game. The race game.
What does
Okay,
the race
play-
end?
No. It's like you have like we'll have like 16 cups, and each of them will have kind of like 4 tracks, and like
Right.
some of them will be like from parts of the original game. We'll reuse some assets there.
Yeah, of course we will. Yeah.
But like we'll
gotta
also
cut
have like
costs.
some completely unique tracks.
Yeah.
We'll have like a battle mode in there.
Are the crystals involved in Act 3
Balloons
at
and
all?
stuff.
No. You surpass that. You transcend that.
Yeah.
So
What about gems?
gem. No,
combine
that's not
cosmic
important.
totally
This is
different
like
game.
no. Listen. This is like an esport. I'm saying like in order to even get to this esport, that will be
Yeah.
absolutely like, whoa, oh my god! You will have to follow like 7 people who are all paying into the system and fucking promoting the game because you know they'll be streaming it. You know you'll have people streaming it, being like, oh my god, I'm having me and my Twitch streaming partner having this cosmic sex stuff happening in the game. Check it out. And like they'll all be doing it.
The screen goes black, or like on
Yeah,
Twitch.
and then people will be like, "Oh my god!" And
Holy
then
shit.
that is when the first 7 people get in. That's when we announce that in a year's time we will be having a race, a tournament with this racing thing, and the winner gets $10 million because that is the
Oh my God.
largest small amount of money. No, the smallest large amount of money for a large corporation. So
Yeah.
that will mean nothing to us, but to all of these people that we've got in our little system making us money, they'll all be like, "Oh my god! Oh, we gotta buy more. We gotta really invest because then we'll get the 10 million."
Yeah, because 10 million is
mental
nothing
And
to
when
us.
you just get a
And
flood
this
of new players.
is where the Yogscast comes in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, Simon, Lewis, like your top crew. I'm saying
all the big guys.
the big guys, the big names, will basically be the first 7. We'll make sure they make it first.
Oh, right.
Nice.
And for that you will be paying me 20%. And
Okay.
20 is a lot
with-
less than I expected.
yeah, well, I'm not greedy. I'm
Okay.
not greedy.
No,
But I just want to make my art.
sure.
But so then you're racing about and then we broadcast it and like the thing is only celebrities can kind of get to this point. Everybody else is trying to get to play this really cool game, but they're running on our little money treadmill.
Yeah.
And then we
Right,
kind
they're
of
never gonna get there.
identify which ones will be kind of
Yeah.
good for us on a marketing perspective. And we completely control that ecosystem. Imagine like Dota 2 on the scale that it is, but even bigger.
I'm
But you
listening.
have like some little people behind the curtains twiddling the knobs, making people miss, so you can get your people
Oh my god.
to get the cash prizes.
Nice,
And they're
okay.
paying us a premium for that as well. So it just revolves, it circles around. And in all of these different money streams, we're taking our cut every time.
What is the average
70%,
cost to get to
15%.
Act 3?
Pardon?
What's the average cost to get to Act 3? What does it take for a regular player to get there?
I think either 1,000 hours of playtime.
Okay.
Or $5,000.
$5,000. Okay, yeah. So if everybody
Sounds
pays
about right.
$5,000, then that's a huge community for a great racing game, and B, just a ton of money to easily be able to pay out $10 million to whoever wins it.
Yeah,
I for one, am excited to see just a Super Bowl ad of President Brad Pitt banning guns.
With a wolf
that'd be a
next to him.
spoiler.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be a spoiler. But
we just want
Just
it's a shot of Siberia narrated.
We're just
by-
gonna promo this with one image, which is gonna be a picture of Jack Nicholson, kind of half conscious, with a bottle in his hand, but on the bottle label it says "raised by wolves." And then we're gonna have like people putting stickers up everywhere on like
on their Instagram and stuff,
saying not
when you're crossing the
digitally.
road and you see them on like the.
It's like there'll be like a message saying, "Who was raised by wolves?"
Yeah.
Banksy.
How does David Attenborough factor into Act 3? I think we all dying to know how that happens.
Wasn't he the Sorry. He's the guy who's got the big cup. He's got the big gold cup, and he's kind of like he's like the he's like the sexy cup holding guy.
Yeah.
Like
Not
in
as sexy as Tom
Crash
Hanks.
Team Racing, the bandicoot who's like holding the trophy. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Doing the same kind of dance.
He'll
I
be
imagine.
tastefully dressed, but 3D scanned and true to life.
Yeah.
Is the trophy also David Attenborough? Is there a miniature him on top?
Yeah, but that one's naked
Yeah.
Yeah.
for art,
Yeah. There's symbolism there.
Okay. So
how are you going to make this? How is this going to run on a PS4? That's what I want to know.
I mean, Chris,
what was the thing? It was. Do you remember what was the game called?
She was raised.
They had the server where it loaded chunks, so you could have an open world as big as you want. And the way the servers work is every server holds a chunk, so we can make it infinitely that way.
I think what you want is the game to be so big that it forces players to have to delete all their other data from their hard drive, so they can only play this game.
Nice.
It's an operating
Ideally
system.
a terabyte, like just shy of a terabyte. They can get Spelunky on there if they want like a 2D game. But like a terabyte hard drive, we should fill that, I think.
But Chris, you also have to remember this is beyond infinite.
That's true.
So we can't just have an infinite
we
supply.
stream a lot, and a lot of it's done on the cloud, I figure. And I figure
You
if
have
I
to
say
pay,
those two things, that'll give you enough to...
you
When
have
in
to pay a
doubt,
subscription to our own cloud storage server so that you can host all of your infinite
Otherwise, your
creatures.
data gets deleted.
Otherwise, you lose your crystals if you don't have enough storage.
We could
don't
tie
want
that we could tie that into the inventory system. You've got to pay for the storage on our server.
More inventory.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like how Star Citizen does it, though. Well, Star Citizen, you buy a ship, and then you pay real money to insure that ship. And then if that ship, which is insane for a game that's not out yet, and then if your ship gets destroyed, you get your ship back. But if you don't, and some of the ships cost thousands of dollars, you just out of luck. You haven't because you haven't paid like a monthly insurance, which you can spend in-game money on, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're insuring the world you're on, and all your creatures, and all your guns, I suppose. You don't want to lose all your guns.
Well, they're not gun. Or yeah,
Your money
well,
was
that is
money
the
guns.
currency.
Yeah.
They kind of...
you're insuring your currency. I mean, I've got to say, I think I don't know.
Stop there.
Go on.
I don't know.
Like usually what we would do at this point is go around and ask if we would ask two questions. Would we play it, and would we make it?
Well, would the developers make it? Yeah.
Yeah, would the developers make it?
Okay. What have you got planned?
We have people for that.
I don't think we need to, right? We're far beyond that at this point, right? this is
You have to play it. because
clearly
otherwise
something that has to be made.
The FOMO is just
clearly
clearly
something that has to be made.
The FOMO is just too intense.
I mean, if I see a load of content creators getting to that kart racing game, I'm going to need to play it. Like, I'm personally not marketable enough to be able to get through the Act 1 and Act 2 or the prologue without, the game's support. So I'd have to pay out just tons and tons of money. But I need to know how good.
We'd have you. We'd scoop you up. We've got our fingers on the scales. It's the beauty of it.
Okay.
It's why we need to make it so that we have control over this kind of powerful system.
Nice. I just the idea of just the best racing game, like eventually I might get to play it with 7 other people. And eventually I might be able to win David Attenborough.
The most important thing is you need to find out, because you heard rumors that Tom Hanks might be in it, even though we disclaimed at the start that he isn't.
He said he isn't.
That's the secret, right? That's what gets you through. Is the myth.
I think
of
the,
Tom Hanks.
The audio clip is actually run like the wind, and then some auto-tuned flipping try and make the character's name. We'll just lift that straight out of Toy Story. That's fine. The Toy Story game as well. So it was proper chip tune, perfect. Sounding run like the wind, Bullseye.
But it's
I think that
deep down,
but it's him.
In your heart, you know. Everyone knows.
Okay, so I think it's without a question. Clearly, this has to be made, right? I feel like this is probably something that as soon as this podcast is over, we all need to start sinking time into it.
I think it will be made regardless.
Yeah.
Whether it's called Raised by Wolves or whatever, I think this game probably will be made.
In some form.
Yeah.
In some future, in some reality, somewhere. In the Beyond Infinite universe.
And I don't want to be in a world where this game is made and I've got to listen to everybody fucking talk about it. And be like, I had this same basic idea on a podcast years ago, and now it's bigger than Amazon and Apple combined.
Yeah,
and you have farms of people in countries just playing Act 1 of the game, grinding for their fucking dictator.
But they'll never get there.
Still on Act 2, being like, no one will cyber fuck me. How am I supposed to assemble my crew? It'll be like if you're in Act 1, it's basically like when you hear about people having sex and it's like, oh man, oh fuck, oh that sounds so cool, I feel so weird, I wish I was having sex, man, what's it like, what's it even like, and people will be just fucked up by that, and then once they've got that, it's like, oh man, I wish I could fucking become so cool and chill in myself that I could form this kind of group, dream team, so I can actually play a better game than this.
I like it. It's like it goes from
it's like marriage. It's like marriage, but like a kind of,
it's very good.
So the whole thing progressing to the end really is based on this core fear of being left out.
And get this, right? Get this. Any creatures you still have, creature crystals you still have, when you progress to Act 3, they all come back to life and they become playable characters.
Oh my god.
Unique to you. Yeah. So you have a unique roster of playable characters.
Alongside your
all
7
have their
friends.
own backstory and shit. And then we'll partner with toy manufacturers to have them build
That's
your
a point.
toy. It's like a premium.
Netflix will give us money.
Yeah, I totally forgot you said cartoon at the start of this as well.
Yeah.
And the infinite
It's a franchise, Tom.
monetization. Yeah.
It's the beginning of a franchise.
Well, this game's
We'll
really
do the
setting up
anime
the
as well, don't
franchise.
forget.
Yeah.
But for me, it kind of feels like pushing a boulder down a hill. Once we make the game, then we can subcontract everything else out to just managers and money people and CEOs and people who will just do the good old fashioned, totally chill, nothing wrong with capitalist approach to media, which I respect. And I'm glad we're alive in this system.
Think of the bonuses.
In any other.
Think of the CEO bonuses we could generate with this. This sounds fantastic.
And then we could spend that money on the game, etc.
Yes.
But
anyway. Perfect.
Okay. I honestly, I'm almost speechless. I think this is by far not just the strangest, probably the most beautiful thing we have ever discussed on this podcast.
Yeah.
I spent 20 minutes trying not to laugh really loudly and wiping tears out of my eyes. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
But there were tears of, it was inspired by beauty. The tears came
It was
from.
the thought of seeing Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
William, I don't know what to say other than thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us and sharing that with us.
Subscribe to the crowscrowscrows.com newsletter.
Yeah.
crowscrowscrows.com.
Yep.
Just
where can they find
sign
you on
up to
Twitter?
it. Don't find me on Twitter.
Don't
Just
find
like
me on
leave me
Twitter.
alone.
Don't look for him.
Leave me
Leave him
alone.
alone. He
Don't
doesn't want
find
it.
him.
Leave
Yeah.
me alone. I didn't follow. Nah, follow some cool people. Don't follow me.
Okay, so Tom Hanks Simulator in parenthesis.
No.
With it, Tom Hanks does not appear in this game.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, I'm not even going to bother about making because, as we've already said, this game is going to be made, whatever happens.
Yeah, in some reality.
Tom, are you going to play this?
Well, I mean, I have to, right? Like, everyone
The
is
four of
playing
us,
it.
we need 3 more people, and then we've got a 7, right? So we're doing
I know at least one other person, so
Yeah.
we're good for that.
I'm not going to turn down that $10 million winning
Exactly.
check. That's for sure.
It's too juicy. The best cart game in the world and a potential of $10 million. I'm playing it. I'll
Damn.
pay for it.
Oh,
too.
what do I have to
There you
do?
go.
Play this also pretty good game?
Yeah.
And get through it? And yeah.
So there you go. I think possibly the most life-changing, successful game that's been on this podcast.
Yeah. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, William, for joining us. That was mind-bending and wonderful.
Euphoric.
You're very welcome.
Me, Tom, James, and Chris will see you next time. I don't know who's going to be joining us next time. We might just be back with Tom. I don't know, maybe I have an idea. I had a pretty good one, actually. Maybe I'll share that next time.
Okay,
We'll see.
cool. Yeah, fine.
But until then, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
I need some ice in my head.
Oh, my God.
That was brilliant.